Happy Friday, friends, and welcome to the Acoustic Guitar Showcase number 82. This is our Hidden Gems Spotlight. We're going to be taking a close look today at some of our favorite used acoustic guitars that we have in the shop currently here, and we've got quite a selection of incredible used instruments. And you might think to yourself, what could ever possess a person to trade this in or sell this or whatever the case may be? We wonder that all the time, but you know, we are a high-end guitar shop here, so that's the type of stuff we get in even on a used basis, and we are thrilled that that's the case. As I said, we've got an incredible selection today of used guitars. But before we get to that, folks, I do want you to say hello to my good friend Alejandro joining us behind the controls today.
What's up, guitar geeks? Good to be back. Got some cool ones today. Looking forward to it.
We do, yeah. And you know, like I said, we get stuff traded in. We have folks who can sign guitars with us or even sell guitars outright if they're looking to move on to something different. And as a guitar store, that's what we do here. So we're thrilled to go through some of these used guitars. We don't do this super often, so you better believe that the selection that we have when we do these used guitar showcases like this are very, very sweet used guitars. So. And right off the bat, we have got a very sweet little guitar here. This guitar is just over a decade old, as it was built in 2014. This is a Raymond Kraut 00. This is one of the 14 fret Kraut 00 models with some gorgeous tone woods. And a mature and warm tone out of this guitar as well, despite its small size. And Hondra, if we could take a gander at this beauty. We've got a beautiful, super blonde Italian spruce top on this guitar. And talk about your medullary ray happening there. This guitar has a lot of that silking all throughout the top there. And I'm talking just a really uniform, really consistent Italian spruce soundboard from top to bottom there. Really a gorgeous soundboard all the way around there. I love Raymond Kraut's rosette designs that he does here, sort of that partial rosette there that you see going around the sound hole. Definitely a very signature look, very modern look as well, which I really like. He also does a beautiful carved ebony bridge with one of those kind of thicker saddles there, about an 1/8 inch wide saddle that really allows him to dial in those intonation points within the saddle there. Almost think like a Les Paul, like tune-o-matic bridge. You can really dial in each individual point where that intonation is going to fall to really get you some sweet tuning all the way up the fingerboard of this guitar. We've got a ebony binding theme on this guitar, which is absolutely perfect for the rest of the guitar. If you ask me, almost kind of your tuxedo sort of look here, very blonde, but then just jet black around all that binding. Really handsome look there. And on the back and sides of this guitar, we've got an absolutely stellar set of Birdseye maple. Man, talk about just a perfectly book-matched, gorgeous, just insanely figured Birdseye all throughout the back and sides of this guitar. Very dramatic indeed. And we can see a super thin, extra thin back strip separating those two halves of the back there. Otherwise, we've got a bold ebony heel cap there. Again, a lot of really exquisite wood there on the back and sides of this guitar. All the way up on the headstock, we will most certainly enjoy a matching Birdseye maple veneer that's not only on the face of the slotted headstock here, we will also see that mirrored on the back side of this headstock as well, giving it some really interesting purfling lines in there, just some nice, interesting color work there. We've got some really cool brass 3-on-a-plate tuning machines there that are engraved as well. Really luxurious looking stuff all the way around here. I love the sort of pinstriped, purfled fingerboard that Ray does here. You can almost kind of see up top there, he frames in the whole fingerboard here and then does that curvature down at the bottom there as well. Really a nice frame for that ebony fingerboard. The neck on this guitar is a awesome, relatively slim C-profile neck. This is a 1 23/32 inch nut width. We have 2 1/4 spacing down here at the bridge as well. The scale length on this guitar is a very comfortable 24 3/4 inch scale length. So think that kind of familiar traditional Gibson scale length, and this little 14 fret double O makes it not only familiar feeling, but gives you a rather relaxed feel, supple feel to the actual fingering on the fingerboard of this guitar. And again, the warmth of this guitar. Sometimes maple guitars can be honestly a little bit unforgiving. At times they can be even approaching harsh sounding. Sonically speaking, this guitar does not have any of what I would refer to as sort of negative attributes that maple can have. This is a deep sounding guitar. Man. Warm and cozy out of that Birdseye maple and Italian spruce, especially in that small body. It's just a deceiving tone, I've got to say, coming out of this. Good sustain, considering it's a maple back and side guitar as well. Sometimes maple back and sides can have a bit of an abbreviated level of sustain, but this rings out pretty darn well, I've got to say. Beautiful maple.
Yeah, I had a good time playing that one earlier. I like the
Yeah.
body size, really comfortable, and the slotted headstock is awesome.
I know.
And Remo mentioned that the Kraut headstock is very recognizable. The woods and overall aesthetic of the instrument are beautiful.
Remo, you're totally spot on. And as I was hanging the guitar back up, I realized that I neglected to mention the scalloped nut on that guitar, which is it's a small detail, I've got to say, but whenever I see that, I just get excited. It's a little detail I just always love to see. Really cool.
And Squidward mentioned that it's not the weekend until Matt slaps that fretboard at the 12th fret. Speaking of recognizable headstocks,
I'll tell you what, man. Folks, we have reached a 2022 Marchione OMC. This comes from my friend Stephen Raphael Marchione down in Austin, Texas. And I will tell you, his instruments are absolutely terrifying in all the good ways. And this seems to be an extra lively example of his OMC here. Jandro, before we both get carried away here, I want to show you. This is the, as I said, the OMC from Marchione. We've got a beautiful Swiss moon spruce top. I will get that out of my mouth, I promise. Swiss moon spruce top on this guitar. Really a beautiful example here. I love the extra curly maple binding that Stephen uses on his guitars. That's just a beautiful curly maple binding on that guitar. We've got a rather nondescript looking ebony rosette going around the sound hole there. Just a black ring going around the rosette. Rather simple, but rather powerful, I will say. Of course, we've got that generous Florentine cutaway that Stephen Marchione is known for, as well as that incredible, just really beautiful ebony bridge down here, completely carved by hand. You better believe it. There are no CNC machines in the Marchione shop down there in Texas. Everything is done by hand there. What's really cool is you can see the sort of length of this bridge is that is so that the X brace actually falls underneath this bridge here. And in a lot of cases on X-braced acoustic guitars, that bridge is kind of nestled in between that wide part of the X-brace on the lower bout there. In this case, that X-brace actually kind of travels right underneath the bridge, giving a very sturdy sort of a feel to this top. It's ultra responsive, but it's a very, very stable top. And you can really feel that sort of in the headroom that you get out of this guitar. And again, the sensitivity and responsiveness out of it. Really impressive design. Back and sides of this guitar are a super filthy set of just gorgeous Brazilian rosewood. We are talking top shelf stuff here, as we always are when we're dealing with Marchione guitars. This is just exquisite Brazilian rosewood. One of the design elements that Steven kind of cooks into his flat top acoustic guitars is this extended heel cap that is actually the same piece of wood as that Brazilian rosewood back set. There's no seam there, there's no separation there, just a really cool, well thought out design. Really looks very handsome as well in conjunction with the maple binding on this guitar. Really, really cool. All the way up on the headstock, as Jandro aptly mentioned already, we've got the headstock. If you ask me, the Marchione headstock is about as cool as it gets. Very powerful, completely original. I just love this headstock. You'll see the use of black Spruce locking tuning machines on this guitar. Pure functionality there. We've got a 1 3/4 inch nut width on this guitar. We've got a 2 1/4 spacing down here at the bridge. So again, a rather familiar feel, and a 25.5 inch scale length to this guitar as well. And I will tell you, the neck profile on this guitar is a rather even C profile. It's not the skinniest C profile neck I've ever played. I would kind of describe it as a medium thickness C. Super comfortable though, absolutely nothing to complain about at all with this neck. Folks, that is what effortless responsiveness is right there. Just don't have to give it much and it just wants to kind of keep on going on its own. Gorgeous tone out of that guitar. And as I've said before, for those who have not had the opportunity perhaps to ever play a Marchione flat top acoustic guitar, the experience of playing one of these is like strapping yourself into a race car. I mean, it is ready to roll. It is instantly under your fingers when you want it to be. Just a performance instrument for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting you pointed out that extended length on that bridge is super interesting to me. And I was about to ask if it had anything to do with how it was braced.
Yeah.
And like how that energy is transferred across. And then I got the idea, why not take it all the way to the edge?
Make a mustache out of it?
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
From Jim Bayerly.
Yeah.
Says his birthday is coming up in July and is thinking about a new guitar, but is worried about how the tariffs are going to affect the guitar market, which is a valid question.
Is it a valid question? Was that the question?
No. It is, I was pointing out it is.
Oh,
valid.
yes,
it is a valid
yes.
question because those tariffs will touch, the guitar market.
We think.
Yeah.
We think. I hope not.
I mean, we've got some pricing updates from like Fender on their kind of production model stuff, but
Right.
I personally haven't seen anything from some of our other boutique builders yet. Maybe you have more insight.
I've been afraid to ask. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. I know you were talking to me about how even with American builders, a lot of some of the wood that they're sourcing is coming from Canada.
Absolutely.
So if the wood is getting more expensive right off the bat, then what does that tell you about the end result?
I'm hoping that this is just something that we'll look back on and think, boy, good thing we don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
I hope that that's the
Me
case,
too.
but time will tell. Time will most certainly tell. I wish I had a lot more insight about that, but I hate to say I don't at this point. So we'll all eventually find out, I'm sure,
Yeah.
for better or worse. Good question, Jim. That's it's been on our mind too. As I said, I'm trying not to think about it, but yeah, we'll find out when we find out. wish I had a better answer. Folks, a stunning guitar off the wall today is the 2019 Bourgeois Luthier's Choice OMC. And this is a guitar that we were lucky enough for this guitar to actually kind of start its journey in our shop a few years ago when it was brand new and just built. We now are lucky enough to have it in our shop a second time. And you better believe that I have had a heck of a nice time getting reacquainted with this guitar. This is an awfully special one. Any Luthier's Choice guitar from Bourgeois Guitars is a special one, but this one I always kind of had in the back of my mind kicking around as far as being an extra special one, and it is. This is, as I said, an OMC from Dana, and this has a Bearclaw Adirondack spruce top of the age tone variety. So this is a Torrefied Bearclaw Adirondack spruce top. Now, if you're a wood nut, you might appreciate that Bearclaw Adirondack spruce with this type of figure in it is not something you see on a daily basis. and then getting it torrefied as well, giving it kind of that head start in terms of its aging and kind of playing in a little quicker, definitely adds to some allure to this guitar overall. You can see Dana's one-of-a-kind sunburst treatment on this top, just an absolutely perfect sunburst on this guitar. And at this point in Bourgeois' history, if you will, Dana Bourgeois was still spraying every single sunburst himself, which is pretty cool to know that that's the case with this particular guitar. We have got some really cool, very unique, one-of-a-kind details on this guitar. You can see the absolutely incredible kind of green-themed rosette there that is just very powerful, especially against that really organic-looking sunburst top there. Some really cool shell work in there and reconstituted stone as well. In terms of the binding on the guitar, we've got Zerakote binding all the way around the guitar. And then back and sides of this beauty are just a frighteningly great set of really, really highly figured three-dimensional Hawaiian koa. This is just a glorious set of wood. I love the use of that Zerakote back strip going all the way down the center of the back. We also have a Zerakote heel cap there kind of tying in with all of those details as well. Really some fabulous looking stuff. All the way up on the headstock, we will also see a matching Zerakote veneer on the face of that headstock, again bound in Zerakote as well. I love that little flourish inlay there done right in the center of the headstock that includes some of that reconstituted stone, green stone in there that kind of mirrors some of the fingerboard inlay and rosette as well. Speaking of which, that fingerboard inlay is absolutely beautiful. This is a take on the Bourgeois Petite Vine, of course, with some different, reconstituted stone material in there to tie in with the rest of the theme of the guitar. But man, just a perfect, light, delicate inlay on the face of this fingerboard to perfectly tie in with the rest of the details. This is a standard scale length guitar coming in at 25.5 inches from nut to saddle here. This also has the standard 1 3/4 inch nut width. Also has the standard 2 5/16 spacing down here at this really beautiful ebony pyramid bridge. And underneath the hood here, we've got fully torrefied Adirondack spruce braces, all attached with animal protein glue. All voiced by hand as well by the team there at Bourgeois. Gorgeous shimmer to that Adirondack koa. Really well balanced and gorgeous presence of those kind of harmonic overtones as well. That's got some dimension to it, even lightly. Very nice.
Yeah, that's a stunner.
It is, man.
Both in how it's dressed and how it sounds.
What's that?
It's a stunner in both how it's dressed and how it sounds.
Seriously.
From our friend in Montreal, Quebec, and I always butcher this. I think it's Le Guitar Mamou.
Yeah,
Mamou.
sure.
Glad to see us again, but a bit depressed after the beating the Blues gave the Canadians.
I ain't depressed at all. Man, Blues are on a 7 or 8 game winning streak right now, which is going in close to going into the playoffs. So might be 2019 all over again. We'll see. Maybe not. Probably not, but you never know.
We do have a question from Peter Morris.
Yeah.
What makes you choose the pieces that you play? Do you think that a certain piece of music suits a particular guitar, or is it just whatever your mood chooses?
A little bit of both, to be totally honest with you. There's definitely, like if I was going to pick up an all mahogany guitar, undoubtedly something, I'm not a blues player, but something a little more in the bluesy kind of style tends to want to come out when you have a guitar that has that type of attitude. When you have a guitar that just sounds really pretty and has those glorious overtones and everything, I tend to like to use some bigger chords, or to me, what I think are bigger chords. But yeah, I kind of feel it out for a second and then hope to land on something that will do the guitar justice, honestly. I don't know that I will ever do this guitar full justice, but we're here to try, I guess. Another terrifying guitar. Folks, we have reached a Kevin Ryan signature series Nightingale Grand Soloist, and I've got to tell you, this guitar's been in our shop for a month or maybe a couple of months now, and I hate to admit how many times I've pulled this guitar out of its case just to simply enjoy it selfishly myself before it disappears on me, I'm sure, forever. This is just a really, really special Ryan guitar. In fact, this is an employee-built Kevin Ryan guitar from the internals of Ryan guitars themselves. So you better believe that all of the choicest pieces have been selected for this instrument, and whoever ends up with this is going to be a lucky guitar player. Handra, let's indulge ourselves if we could, please. We've got a Swiss Moon Spruce top on this guitar, and talk about just a beautiful, just really classy looking Bearclaw figure to this top. A gorgeous creamy white color to this Moon Spruce on this guitar. But again, just that really, really beautiful, choice looking Bearclaw throughout this top. Not ultra the most dramatic thing I've ever seen, but again, classy all the way through, effortless looking for sure. You can see around the beautiful sound hole here is a powerful blue Powa rosette. You can see that blue Powa shell on that thickest ring there, and on either side of that thick ring you can see black Tahitian pearl. And then all the way out here on the most outer circlet there is another ring of blue Powa shell. So you almost have sort of 2 or 3 rosettes in one in this Blue Power rosette from Ryan Guitars. It's a really detailed, lot of shell work all kind of compacted in there. We also have a gorgeous Blue Power shell lining, not only the top of this guitar, but also the back and sides as well. Some beautiful shell work all around this guitar. You can also see a really, really beautiful bridge there done in Ziracote as well. Just an incredible piece of wood there, beautiful grain and everything. We have the ebony binding theme on this guitar, which of course includes that beautiful Macassar ebony forearm bevel there with those acoustic flutes carved right into the forearm bevel, and that is the finest version of a sound port that I have ever experienced to date here. I just love that design, love the ergonomics of it, love the tonal production of the design here as well. And the back and sides of this guitar are a signature grade Brazilian rosewood. And man, talk about, looks like it's about 1.5 million years old, something very prehistoric looking, if I can make such a claim as that. I probably can't, but man, high definition, high contrast Brazilian rosewood here. I don't know if it gets any better than this, both tonally and visually. I love that powerful sapwood. Then you've got that beautiful quarter sawn, really all the way through, but just the colors, the great sort of different patches of colors there that you have from side to side. Very, very powerful. The illumination of that blue power shell against that Brazilian rosewood on the lining of all this on the back of the guitar leaps out of that Brazilian rosewood. It is just awesome how it frames that back set there and the sides as well. You better believe it. All the way up on the headstock of this guitar, we have got a most excellent Brazilian rosewood veneer, and I want to get a little bit of a close-up on this guitar because there's some excruciating detail, even just in the purfling. We've got, I might be able to do it right there, Hondro, if that looks good to you. We've got blue power shell lining the headstock. We're going to have Hondro do some close-up work for us here, folks. Blue power shell lining the headstock, and on either side of the blue power shell is mother of pearl micro purfling. So shell on shell on shell. Even the truss rod cover here, we've got blue power purfling with a little corona inlay right there at the bottom. And Hondro, if we could look at that R all the way up top, please. Thank you. We've got a blue power R with, again, mother of pearl, micro pearl, framing the R. Again, shell on shell there. Really just incredible detail. And Hondro, if we could just get a quick look at that fingerboard. I want to show your attention to the that same theme, the blue power shell with the micro purfling on either side. See if we can get this in the light. There we go. And that's the Diamante fingerboard inlay in the center of the fingerboard as well, done in blue power. Just gorgeous. And man, just a perfect ebony, fingerboard, of course. Thank you very much, Hondro. This guitar has the standard fingerstyle extended scale length of 25.7 inches, so just a touch longer than your traditional Martin scale length, for example, and that really gives just awesome sustain, awesome responsiveness, and a wonderful dynamic quality to the Ryan guitars in general. We've got the standard 1 3/4 inch nut width with the standard 2 1/4 spacing down here at the bridge. A lovely, lovely even C profile neck to this guitar. This is standard treatment for Ryan guitars, but just a beautiful neck. I also want to call your attention real quickly, if we can look at the side of this guitar, side of the neck rather. We also have that blue shell inlay lining the portion between the fingerboard and the neck itself, the mahogany neck itself, not only on the neck, but also on the headstock. So again, just awesome, awesome detail, even on the very top of the headstock for that matter. So lots of sweet inlay detail. on this guitar. And of course, under the top of the guitar, all the stuff you can't see is really equally as impressive as all the stuff you can see. The EO laser relieved bracing, the honeycomb bridge plate. We've got the titanium bridge pins. Man, just everything. Again, the forearm bevel, the acoustic flutes, the particular truss rod system that they use. All just really amazing stuff. And just completely unmistakable Brazilian rosewood tone out of this guitar. I love that detail that the Swiss moon spruce top gives to that tone as well, but that muscly warmth from the Brazilian is just awesome. That's a Nightingale, folks, and as I said, this is an employee-built guitar, meaning if you're looking for a guitar where you don't have to sift through the manufacturer's finest tone woods, that work has already been done for you. This would be a solid candidate for that.
That is a memorable back set of Brazilian on there.
Dude.
Very cool.
Yes, indeed it is. Oh, we got winner after winner today, Andro.
Yeah, and John Cawell was asking, how can people part with those? But, it happens.
Yeah, me. I will admit, I've gotten rid of guitars in the past that I had no business getting rid of, and it was at the time it was just what needed to be done, for better or worse. So sometimes, that's just what it is. Sometimes you just got to do it. Doesn't make it less painful. But Folks, it wouldn't be an acoustic guitar showcase without a Froggy bottom. And a Froggy bottom we have. This is an F14 Deluxe model that was built in 2020. This is another guitar that we were lucky enough to have built for our shop. And amazingly, it is back in our shop for sale once again. And Hondra, if we could take a gander at these gorgeous woods on this guitar. We've got one of Michael Millard's German spruce tops on this guitar. Just a beautiful European spruce top, again with that kind of creamy, milky, very, very tight grain appearance to this top. Really a thing of beauty. And the F model in general from Froggy Bottom, think an OM, but a little bit bigger, almost like a quadruple O type of guitar. Slightly different scale length, which we will get to here momentarily, but think just slightly larger than your traditional 14 fret OM. That is essentially what you have in the F model here. You can see some gorgeous, very, very curly koa binding all around the body of this guitar. Also see a really fabulous looking abalone rosette going around the sound hole there. Very traditional looking imitation tortoiseshell pickguard on the face of the guitar as well there. And back and sides of this guitar are a really, really pretty set, almost reddish looking set of East Indian rosewood, almost hints of kind of a cocobolo kind of appearance to this back set, but it is in fact Indian rosewood, a beautiful set of it. I love that blue Paua abalone back strip going down the center of the back there, really tying in with that rosette on the face of the guitar. We also have that really just beautiful, I love the shape of that heel cap in general, but capping it off in koa is just a thing of class, I've got to say. Really nice. All the way up on the headstock, we've got a rosewood veneer. It is a bound headstock done in kind of a fiber there. We've got the unmistakable abalone Froggy bottom inlay all the way up top there. Nickel Waverly tuning machines, open gear, super traditional looking, nothing to complain about at all. We have the standard 1 3/4 inch nut width on this guitar, as well as the standard C profile neck. And I got to say, I just love the C profile neck on Froggy bottom guitars. Relatively slim, all the way up to the body. Just a very, very comfortable neck. I don't care if you're capoed all the way up on the 9th fret here. It's comfortable all the way up there. Not anything to complain about. Ebony bridge, and again, ebony fingerboard. We've got the scalloped diamond fingerboard inlays on this guitar, giving you just a really classic looking fingerboard inlay, super traditional Froggy bottom look. We upped the 2 3/16 spacing on this bridge up to 2 5/16, so slightly wider than the standard, giving you a little bit of extra width there, especially for fingerstyle players. That's a very comfortable feel there for sure. And the German spruce and Indian rosewood combination here in this, again, slightly larger than an OM kind of body is just pure versatility. I don't care if you're doing really delicate fingerstyle stuff. great for the delicate stuff, and as we heard earlier, it absolutely really thrives with the flat pick too. Folks who follow and play Froggy bottom guitars, I know the model F14 has been a long time favorite for a lot of folks, and rightly so. As I said, it'll do just about anything you want it to do and do it really, really well.
Yeah, I got to agree with Remo here that that's got a very mature and woody sound.
It's only a few years old. I'll tell you, the guitar had a mature and woody sound when it was new. Yes, it's grown since then, as you can imagine. But that's just what Froggy Bottom does, man. Very different sounding guitar than the one before it is this Goodall here. Oof. That is eager to put it out. Folks, we have arrived to what can truly be described as a one-of-a-kind Goodall guitar. And to the best of my knowledge, I don't believe that there will ever be another one built quite like this, or perhaps even close to this, moving forward from Goodall guitars. That is due to primarily the top of this guitar, which I am very, very eager to get into here. Hondro, if we could take a look at this beauty. It is exactly that. It is a beautiful, beautiful Torrefied Redwood top. This is not something, I'll be honest with you, that we've ever seen in any other guitar that's been through our shop before is Torrefied Redwood. This is a beautiful selection. You can see that the grain to this guitar has almost been intensified due to its heat treating process of being cooked like that. This is not something that is on the Goodall menu. This is not something they intend to offer in the future. So if this is something that speaks to you, I will tell you it's unique compared to other Goodall guitars that we've had through here over many years. So maybe get with me in the near future if this is speaking with you, because it is a one-of-a-kind piece for sure. Torrefied Redwood. And that's what we've got, of course, on the top of the guitar. We've got a beautiful dark ebony binding theme all around this guitar with a very colorful abalone rosette going around the sound hole there. I love that carved Goodall bridge, just the shape of it, the lines of it. Really handsome. We've got that clear pick guard that's been applied to the top as well. Pretty nondescript, but definitely does the job of keeping the scuffs off the top of the guitar. Back and sides of this guitar are a special reserve set of Macassar Ebony. This is a gorgeous set. So often you see Macassar Ebony in either a very, very, very high contrast or just a super, super dark, almost black type of a color to it. This is unique in that it's got a lot of that chocolatey color to it, almost like a rosewood. Unmistakably an ebony here for sure, but just a really unique color to this. Beautiful kind of lighter, almost sapwood right down the center of the back there as well. Gorgeous, really high definition grain in this back. All the way up on the headstock, we'll see a very, very dark ebony veneer, again, bound in ebony all the way around the guitar. You can see the powerful Goodall logo all the way up top there. We've got the mini Godot 510 tuning machines with the ebony buttons on there as well. This is the standard C profile Goodall neck on this guitar. We've got the standard 25.5-inch scale length, the standard 1 3/4 inch nut, and 2 1/4 spacing down here at the bridge. The folks at Goodall did explain to me that this particular top and sort of the characteristics that it took on since being torrefied has a borderline, emphasis on borderline, brittle quality to it. And for that reason, I think the guitar sounds absolutely insanely great because of that. It's a guitar that has some durability because it's torrefied, and a lot of that softer material has been cooked out of this top. However, probably something that you still want to be very conscientious in terms of humidification and the maintenance of a guitar like this, but not something that's going to explode or implode on you, but definitely one of those very excitable tops, and again, just as responsive as can possibly be. Redwood is to begin with most of the time. When you take all the soft stuff out of it, though, and you leave the good stiff stuff behind, this is what you get out of it. And paired with that really deep, reverby Macassar Ebony back and sides, it is something. Signature overtones and sustain from Goodall out of this as well. Just awesome.
Why don't you think we don't see more torrefied Redwood tops?
I think that there is a question of the durability.
Sure,
quite
like
honestly, the longevity. Yeah,
it could become too brittle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And maybe just under tension. You know,
Right.
I hope that's not the case with this guitar. I didn't build it, so I can't say. It will be covered. That's what's nice about it, is a company like Goodall, they stand behind their stuff. So
For sure, yeah.
folks, this next guitar, I will tell you, I am most excited about. However, I have an unfortunate disclaimer in that I was unaware of the state of the strings on this guitar before it was too late. These are perhaps a little bit past what I would typically like to play in a live stream such as this, but I think we'll appreciate that it is still a excruciatingly great guitar. And of course, the guitar I'm referring to is the 2016 Greenfield G G3. This is the first G3 that we have ever had under our roof. I have had a ball getting to know this guitar. This is, let's take a look at the silhouette of this guitar. We will get to the woods here, but just looking even at the silhouette of this guitar, the G3 from Michael Greenfield, you can see is at the very least inspired by sort of a concert classical instrument. Yes, this is a steel string guitar. It's not a nylon string, anything like that, but you can tell that just the shape of the guitar is certainly inspired by kind of a concert classical instrument here. The top on this guitar is excuse me, is this a Swiss?
This is Adirondack. Spruce.
Adirondack, that's right. We didn't order this, so it came in used. I'm still getting there. This has an Adirondack spruce top on it. Thank you, Hondro. Man, I'll tell you, that's a heck of an Adirondack spruce top. Beautiful blonde color to it and some rather tight grain as well. A really beautiful bridge down here. One of the few bridges I've seen from Greenfield that has bridge pins in it. So often you see his pinless bridge that he uses, but this is a really rather traditional, relatively speaking, pinned bridge there. You can also see the Alaskan style armrest here, rather generous armrest on the upper bout of the guitar, as well as the Alaskan style palm away here, which is an original Greenfield design in this area of the guitar there. He calls that the palm away, as opposed to a cutaway, which actually, goes into the body of the guitar and scoops it out. This is a little bit more of a subtle treatment there, but definitely allows you to get a little bit of mobility beyond the body itself there, up high on the fingerboard, which is really nice. I absolutely adore Michael Greenfield's rosette here. We've got a Buckeye burl rosette that's lined in blue power shell on either side. Really, really fine detail. Just a powerful, powerful, bold rosette there as well. Beautiful stuff. We've got a special reserve set of Sinker Honduran Mahogany. This is from the personal collection of Michael Greenfield. As you can imagine, a beautiful set of really special mahogany. Paired with Adirondack and this kind of mid-size body, it is a punchy machine, but man, it's got a sweetness to it as well, all depending on what your right hand kind of feeds into the guitar. It is responsive in multiple ways. Man, really a gorgeous set of mahogany though. I really, really love the Greenfield headstock. We've got a beveled ebony veneer on the face of the headstock there. We've got that Greenfield logo front and center up top there. We've got Goodall 510 tuning machines on this guitar done in gold with black buttons. I do want to call your attention to the back strap on this guitar. Oftentimes you see the separate piece of wood that's been veneered to the back of the headstock, and very often it's done in an exotic piece of ebony or a beautiful piece of rosewood. I adore how Michael put a piece of Honduran mahogany to match the neck on this. Yes, it's a separate piece that's been veneered and purfled and bound on there and everything. It's beautifully done, but just a continuation of kind of the wood grain of the neck itself. Such a just really fabulous look to that. Effortless. I'm sure it took a lot of effort to get it to look effortless, though. Beautiful Honduran mahogany neck on this guitar as well. This does have the optional heel swoosh, which is a hand-carved design into that heel, just kind of hugging the palm of your hand when you're way up high on the neck there. Just another little luxurious touch on this guitar. And on some of the Greenfield guitars that he includes that on, really a nice little, just nice little hand done touch there. The neck on this guitar is a lovely modern C profile, really a beautiful neck. We do have a somewhat wider than standard 1 13/16 inch nut width with 2 5/16 spacing down at the bridge. So if you like a little bit wider spacing, say finger style playing, this guitar is going to be right up your alley here. Plenty of space to do those big, complex chords all the way up the fingerboard here. That's a dialed machine right there, man.
And someone asked about the end graft. Can we take a quick look at that?
Yes, indeed, you can. Basically kind of a continuation of the ebony binding theme, and I want to get up a little close there just to show you the insane perfection of all of Michael's miters that he does. This is just one example. But his miters all around his purfling into his bindings on everything he does is perfection, absolute perfection. What a machine.
Yeah, and Dave pointed out, if those are the old strings, imagine what it'd sound like with the new strings on.
I'll tell you. I wish I had time to restring it, and I regret that I didn't. I would play that thing all day long as is, though, for with no complaints. Folks, we have reached a Kevin Ryan signature series guitar off the wall that, believe it or not, is just a little over 15 years old. This guitar was born back in 2009. This is a signature series from Kevin Ryan, but even beyond that, this particular guitar has earned its own nickname, which is a rarity at Kevin Ryan there. They have affectionately nicknamed this guitar the Gold Rush, and we will get into all the reasons why, but Hondro, let's take a look at this wood on this guitar, which I am dying to do. This is what they refer to as the Eclipse Redwood top. This is a sinker redwood top. a very, 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 very old redwood top, as you can imagine, and one that Kevin actually had set aside for quite some time for a particularly special project. This is not the type of redwood he stumbles into on a daily basis, and even back in the 2000s, getting into the 2010s, this was just a super choice piece of redwood, as it would be at any time frame. But we've got some just incredible details all around this guitar, and some details, quite honestly, that I've never seen in any other Ryan guitar before, which is really cool, even just for us. The shell purfling all around this guitar, around the top, the back, and the sides, is a brown lip oyster shell. Man, just a beautiful smoky color to that brown lip oyster all around the guitar. I do want to show you the Art Deco rosette there, also done in brown lip oyster, and that's the inlays itself, as well as the purfling going around that rosewood ring that's been installed around the sound hole. So some beautiful woodwork and beautiful shell work all in that rosette there. Really just a complex look to that rosette in a beautiful way. I love when I see the inlaid and purfled bridges from Ryan. That's a brown lip oyster shell around the actual bridge itself, giving it a nice shell frame, as well as the Art Deco inlays in the actual wings of the bridge. They are giving them just a bit of elegance themselves there in that ebony bridge. Back and sides of this guitar are, yes, indeed, a signature grade of Brazilian rosewood. And man, just a fabulous set of beautiful figured Brazilian rosewood on this guitar. Again, a very, very old looking set of wood. I don't know what makes me say that or what makes me think that, but it just looks very old to me for some reason. You can see that really beautiful, those inky black lines going all the way down there with some beautiful spider webbing all throughout this back set. Really a gorgeous figured set of Brazilian rosewood there. Amazing chocolatey color to it. Some strong reds and even kind of purples in there. Really, really cool. Sides are equally beautiful. Perfectly matched to the back. Just perfect. Got a beautiful Honduran mahogany neck on this guitar. All the way up top, we will see the Art Deco flower rosette in the face of the headstock. This is not one that I see real often from Ryan these days, at least. We also have the brown lip oyster shell lining the outer portion of the headstock, as well as installed in the R logo all the way up top there. We've got another very impressive truss rod cover on this Signature Series guitar. It's an ebony truss rod cover that's been purfled in that brown lip oyster. We also have that Corona inlay at the very bottom down there as well. The fingerboard itself also has the brown lip oyster shell lining. We also have that Art Deco flower done here right at the 12th fret as well, kind of even going into the fingerboard extension of the body of the guitar as well. Perfectly tying in not only with the rosette, but again with that inlay on the face of the headstock as well, just giving it a totally unified, really complete theme visually throughout this guitar. And once again, you know, fabulous sinker redwood over Brazilian rosewood. Just is nothing to complain about at all. Folks, as I said, this guitar was built in 2009. The physical condition of this guitar would not indicate that. It is in excellent, excellent plus condition. However, the tone of this guitar, the openness, the muscular flex of that bass response definitely indicates the maturity of this guitar. Amazing. And folks, just like that, we have arrived to the end of the line. And man, I'll tell you what, who would get rid of these guitars and why? We've already said it, I realize, but man, just some absolutely lifetimers on the wall here behind us.
Which one was your favorite, Matt?
Oh, man. That's a good question. This guitar really scares me, I've got to say. That Swiss Moon Spruce Ryan.
That's the one that I was going to pick.
This one scares me too, I've got to say. That Marchione might be the end of the world. The Bourgeois, we'll never see anything like that Bourgeois ever again, you know. It's the first G3 I've ever played. How can you deny? I mean, the Froggy. I can just go ahead and mention all of them, but we already know I'm going to do that. I know. What about you?
I was going to pick the Ryan, the Nightingale,
the Swiss Moon Spruce one.
Swiss Moon Spruce and Brazilian. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That one spoke to me.
I wouldn't blame you for that at all.
K-Well said that he'll take all of them.
Yep.
Remo on the Froggy.
Oh, nice.
John on the Goodall.
Nice.
Peter on the Greenfield, but actually the Gold Rush.
Who was that?
That's Peter Morris.
Nice.
And Dave on the Froggy Bottom, straddling that modern and traditional sound perfectly with a touch of magic.
No doubt about it. No doubt. That's what they're known for, rightly so. There's an air to this guitar, man. It's like a something up top there. It's not even a brightness. It's just a...
Like a moonlight? Almost like a eclipse? Moonlight?
Yeah, you could say that. Well, we're going to stick with that. That's a good idea. What made you think of that?
You got John Patton on the Redwood Ryan.
Yeah.
Our favorites, Redwood Ryan and Bourgeois.
Nice. Two real different animals. Yeah. That's cool. That's very cool.
Maxwell on the signature Ryan as well. So
nice.
Yeah, tough competition on the wall.
Well, and that's what's cool is, you know, like I said, what did these people get that made them get rid of these? Like that's the real question. Folks, thank you so very much for joining us once again. We have had a ball looking it through, like I said, some of our very, very favorite used acoustic guitars in the shop currently. We sure appreciate you joining us here, and we will plan to come back to you live in the next couple of weeks or so. We'll get a fresh batch of guitars on the wall behind us, and we'll do this all over again. We sure appreciate you being here, though. Hope you folks have an awesome weekend. We will catch you all next time around.
See you guys.